The Galaxy Watch Classic is back with a unique and satisfying rotating bezel, the premium stainless steel build, and new features, but this time with a major redesign in the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. I had some time hands-on to try it before launch, and here are my first thoughts, impressions, as well as some new features that you need to know about. Let's start off with the obvious thing being the design. It looks like the Galaxy Watch Ultra and the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic had a baby, and it took a little bit from both of them, but now we have that Squircle design, the square circle. I think for years we were trying to get rid of the bezel. We're trying to get a better screen to body ratio with thinner bezels, but this new Squircle design kind of just throws that all out the window. Regardless, I think Samsung did a pretty good job making this look as good as it could with that square circle design. I think this is definitely going to be polarizing. Some people are really going to like this and some people are really going to dislike it, but there's two different colors available. There's black and there's silver. And like I said, it's stainless steel, so really shiny, really nice premium look. It also comes with a leather-ish hybrid strap that looks like a leather strap, similar to what we saw on the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, but also, still has that silicone interior, so it's comfortable. It's better if you're sweating or working out. It's kind of a nice watch that looks really classy when you want to wear it, out to dinner, but can also be a workout watch without really even having to change the straps. As I said, the physical rotating bezel is a big selling point, probably the main selling point of this watch. I'll make comparisons in the future with this and other watches, but the rotating bezel is a little bit different now compared to the Watch 6 Classic. It's a little bit more deliberate. There's some ridges around there. It's more pronounced, and there are larger, more pronounced tick marks as well that, again, just kind of influence the aesthetic, but also make it easier to rotate. I think the rotating bezel on here, I really like it a lot from my hands-on time with this watch. There's also now a third button on the side, again, similar to what we saw on the Ultra. And that middle button, you could use, I think they call it the action button. You could use it to, open your workouts, start a timer, or whatever. During workouts, you can do things with it. It's kind of nice that you have this extra button on the side just for some more options. Also, back to the rotating bezel for one more thing I want to mention. Even though the other watches like the Ultra and the 8 and the 7 and all the other watches from Samsung have that digital rotating bezel, which is good enough for navigating the interface, the physical bezel just feels so intuitive for Wear OS. Just being able to go around and navigate like that, you're not covering your screen with your hand at all, and so it gives you more real estate on your watch and just makes it a lot more usable. Flipping over to the back, though, we have two changes on the back. One, the biosensor has some changes that I'll talk about in a minute, some new things it's able to do, and the strap is now a big change here. So the strap design for Galaxy watches used to be a very standard 20mm pin design. You could buy a ton of them on Amazon for very, very cheap. Last year, the Galaxy Watch Ultra started this new strap design where you push a button and it's like a proprietary connection that I don't really like. It's annoying to take off. It's easy to put on, but it's annoying to take it off. And now we have a new strap design that's not backwards compatible. So all the old 20mm straps, they don't work. All of the Galaxy Watch Ultra straps, they don't work. Now the Galaxy Watch 8 and the 8 Classic have a new strap design, and you're gonna have to either buy new straps or maybe a third party will come out with a little lug adapter to maybe fit 20mm straps in the future. I hope that happens, but I don't know. At least at launch, you got some new straps. The size of this watch also changed. There used to be a 43 and a 47mm Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, and now there's only one size for the Classic, just 46mm. So not even in between the two, just 46mm. The display size also, interestingly, even though it's a fairly large watch, matches the smaller Galaxy Watch 8 with a 1.37-inch screen. I think that's kind of a bit of a drawback there that we're getting the smaller display and still a fairly large body on this. It's significantly brighter though, with a peak brightness of 3000 nits, and so even when I was filming this in some bright studio lights, it's pretty easy to see it. Same thing with the Galaxy Watch 8, the displays look really quite nice. But I'm not fully convinced at my first glance with this watch that it's significantly better than the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic in terms of aesthetics. I'm going to make a side-by-side comparison, talk about the different features, talk about the differences in the design, but if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment with anything else you want me to compare this watch to. Oh, and of course, the price. This is, of course, going to be regionally dependent for wherever you're watching this, so you can click the link in the description down below to see the latest price. You can also pre-order through that link and get some nice extra perks, like an enhanced trading credit and some other things I'll explain down in the description. So, some other changes related to health tracking with this watch. There are a number of new ones. The biggest one that they're really talking about, which you can decide if it's going to be good or if it's a gimmick, this is called antioxidant levels. So the way it works is you take the watch, you go to antioxidant measurement, and then you put your thumb on the back of the watch. So you have to take it off your wrist to do this, and you hold it there for, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 seconds. It'll give you a score, and you can track your score over time. Generally, a higher number is better, and many modern diets are deficient in like fruits and vegetables and other sources of antioxidants. So they claim that you should be able to track this over time. If you eat more antioxidants, the score should go up. It uses the LEDs in the biosensor to detect something in your skin. I forget what they said exactly it was, but it's worth noting that this is technically not FDA approved, at least not at the time of launch. They kind of alluded to they might be looking to get FDA approved in the future, but they're still launching the feature without FDA approval. I'm excited to get this into the studio and really try it, like repeat testing, see if I get the same score on both thumbs, see if it changes when I eat different foods. I was told it was going to take about 2 weeks to significantly change your score, but I'm going to see how long it actually takes and see if my score actually changes. Another different thing they have with health tracking is called Vascular Load. This one I don't think is a gimmick. This one I think is definitely going to be quite valuable. And we've seen this across the industry as a general trend, people moving away from like stand hours, step count, and like the basic rings like that, and moving more towards kind of like Whoop and Aura, what they've been doing with their little trifecta of like sleep score, recovery score, and vascular load or cardio load or whatever you want to call it. Essentially, how much strain you're putting on your heart, and you want to strain it the right amount so you're maintaining good health, but also you don't want to strain it too much, and you don't want to be not strained enough that you're losing progress on your cardio. Another one they have is called bedtime guidance. This is a really subtle feature they just kind of added in there. And the way this works is in the sleep app, if you go to the top right and you tap on bedtime guidance, it can tell you, the past couple nights you went to bed at this time, woke up at this time. This is when we recommend you go to bed. Considering sleep consistency is very important for getting, quality deep sleep, it's kind of a nice feature to add, and they have notifications for this as well. So, perhaps the biggest new feature, and I didn't want to cover it too early in the video because everyone talks about this all the time, but this is having AI in the watch. And I know AI is thrown around a ton, like everything is AI now, blah, 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 AI. And usually it's just marketing talk. Like you're probably not going to use something like the Now Brief every day. I don't ever use it. I think it's completely, in my opinion, useless. But this, I think, is actually really significant. We've had Bixby and Google Assistant on watches in the past, but having Gemini in here that's also more deeply integrated with the watch, I think can really act quite well on this watch. So if you think about it, watches have tiny displays, and they have a lot of apps on there that are not more convenient than just taking your phone out. So for me, watches are typically for tracking workouts, tracking health, getting notifications, and maybe answering calls. I rarely go on here to check the Uber app or anything like that. But if we are able to use voice commands to do more on the watch, then you should be able to use the watch for more things without taking your phone out of your pocket. And this can do more thinking now compared to old Google Assistant. So for example, if you want to say, start a workout that is going to burn off like one McDonald's McDouble. It's going to look at how many calories are in a McDouble. It's going to say, all right, 300 calories. Let's make a workout that's going to burn 300 calories. And then it's going to start your workout right away. You can also ask it about like your sleep last night. And it can do some complex things. Like you can ask it to start a workout that burns off one slice of pizza and start my playlist from YouTube Music. And it can do all of that. Again, saving on swiping on a little tiny screen. Obviously, you can still do normal Gemini stuff, start timers, ask questions. I could see this being really useful if you're in situations where your phone's not available. Maybe your hands are dirty and you're cooking or something like that. Honestly, I'm really excited to try this once I actually have the watch in the studio, and I'm just gonna push it to its limits and see what Gemini can actually do on this watch. And kind of talking a little bit more about fitness, there are some cool new features. The most notable is probably running coach. So for anybody who doesn't run a lot or have an actual running coach, this is going to act as kind of like a little virtual running coach where you'll do a 12-minute run or, walk or the best of your ability, and it'll gauge mostly just what your heart rate variability is, as well as some other metrics on top of that. And then it will calculate what running score you are. So they'll say like, maybe you're level 2 runner, maybe you're level 5 runner. And the more you run, it'll build you up. And in your running, it's going to say, all right, you're a level 2 runner. Here's a workout we propose. Ideally, this should build you up more slowly so that you can, establish, your muscle and your joint capabilities as well as your cardio capabilities. That way you're improving, but also hopefully not getting injured. And as we expected, we have a lot of the things that we liked on previous versions of the Galaxy Watch. So it still does have multi-band L1 and L5 GPS. We still have ECG on here. We've got bioimpedance, pretty much all the normal stuff we liked on the previous Galaxy Watches. But as far as a full accuracy test, I will be making an in-depth review soon to dive into the accuracy of the GPS, the heart rate, pretty much anything that is related to health with this watch, as well as like speaker and microphone testing. So if you want to see that full in-depth review in a couple of weeks, be sure to get subscribed. And like I said, I'm pretty excited for that video. All right, so we talked about the health, we talked about the fitness, we talked about the design changes, we talked about Gemini. I think the other one to mention is that it comes with One UI 8 preloaded, so some kind of new software-ish features. And the Watch 8 also launched at the same time. So the Watch 8 Classic and the Watch 8 are both really the two new watches from Samsung, but they're kind of also, this is going to clear up some confusion for you, hopefully. They're also launching a new Galaxy Watch Ultra for 2025. It's essentially the exact same thing as the other Galaxy Watch Ultra, the one that's already out, except it has 64 gigabytes of storage instead of 32. So if you have an enormous amount of music or offline maps, or I don't know what you're doing with 64 gigs on your watch, but if you have that, then maybe you'd want the new Ultra. And the other thing is that it'll, out of the box, just come with One UI 8 on there. The older ones will get One UI eventually, but it's just they're not pushing it out to all of them yet. They want to only have it as the new ones being purchased. So if you want to learn more about the Galaxy Watch 8 regular, not the Ultra or the Classic, I'll link that right here. I actually just made a video about that. It's launching today at the same time. So check that out and get subscribed so you can see those full reviews.